Tell me a little bit about your occupation, Lloyd.
I am a legal assistant or a paralegal. I work for Freddie King and Freddie King Law Offices in Huntington. I've been working here for 23 years.
Was this a part of your original plan?
Uh, excuse me. No, I had initially I was going to be a physical education teacher. Excuse me. And then I was going to be into Parks and Recreation, and then I finally went into the legal assistant program at Marshall.
What inspired you to choose this career?
Well, I had a friend, Kendall Partlow, and he was in the legal assistant program. And I was just kind of bouncing around, really didn't know what I wanted to do for a living at the time, and it seemed kind of interesting, so I tried it, and that's where I ended up.
What education was required for this career?
Uh, I don't think you absolutely have to have any education above high school, but I have an associate's degree from what was then Marshall Community and Technical College in legal assisting.
If you go back, would you choose the same career, take a different path?
Uh, I think anybody, after you've done the same job for 23 years, would probably like to do something else for a living. So maybe if I had to go back, I would probably pick something else, just because I've already done this.
Uh, what other jobs, careers did you have before, and and any of those skills help you here?
Um, the only thing that really helped me is my last semester of high school. I had to take either home ec or typing, and I took typing, thinking I would never use that in my career, and I ended up being a legal assistant who types all the time. Otherwise, the jobs I had were all manual labor, working on coal trucks, working in warehouses. So, no, they really didn't help me in this profession.
Just take me through a typical day of your job. What's it like?
Well, I come in the mornings, and usually the first thing I do is open the computer, start the computer, and I go under the calendar to see what we got going on that day. I check the tasks list to see what is due out that day. Um, and I typically start working on whatever project I have for that day, be it answering discovery or working on an estate or whatever, and then basically whatever the two attorneys that work here come back here and ask me to do during the day. That's basically what I do.
What's your favorite part of the job, and how's it meaningful?
My favorite part, I guess, would probably be helping people that are really injured um, in an accident, and they really can't deal with the bull crap, we'll say, that the insurance companies put you through. So I think that's probably the makes me feel the best is when I really help somebody that really needs the help.
What's the biggest obstacle you've overcome in your career?
Learning how to do the job. Um, Coming out of college, I didn't know anything. It's like most professions. College teaches you some things about it, but it doesn't teach you how to actually do the job. So the hardest thing I did was the first 2 or 3 years I was here, just learning how to do everything that you have to do to work in a law office like this.
Uh, how's your job changed since you've started working?
Oh, I'd say the biggest change here has been the technology. When I started working here, all the legal research was actually done in books. I mean, you actually had to go to the law library and pull Southeast reporters to get copies, actually literally make copies of the cases on a copier and bring them back. And now you can basically do an entire memorandum or an entire brief and never leave your computer. All the legal research is on the internet. Technology is definitely the biggest change.
Would you recommend this career to others? Why? Why not?
guess really, if I was talking to somebody and they were really interested in the legal field, I would probably tell them to just go ahead and finish the schooling and become an attorney. Because legal assistants do a lot of the same work that attorneys do. But as far as recommending it, as far as I'm concerned, it's been a great job. It's helped me raise my family, and I've enjoyed it for the most part.
Has your job, what has your job taught you about the world? Has it affected your view of it any?
Um, it's kind of a good question. To a certain extent, I guess. Dealing with a lot of different scenarios of the problems people have, and dealing with a lot of the business side of this job, such as the contracts, makes you more aware of, exactly how the world works.
Uh, what's the worst case you've had?
Worst case, you mean like the hardest case we've done, or the worst injuries?
Worst injuries.
Well, we've had a lot. We've done a lot of wrongful death cases. People have been killed. We did a case one time where a guy was riding a conveyor belt out of a mine, which is a no-no, and they had changed the conveyor belt setup the weekend that he was off work, and he ended up riding it out and went out the wrong one, and he got spit out the end piece. And it's basically like a 3x3 hole that he got shoved through, and it crushed him, and he ended up landing in the coal pile, and he lived for several hours after that before he died. And that was one of them. There's been a lot of different ones.
Would you say dealing with the insurance companies be the worst part of your job?
Yeah, insurance companies, as most people know, I'll be nice here, difficult to deal with. They don't want to be fair to people the majority of the time, and I'd say dealing with the insurance companies and then having to deal with a lot of different individuals every day, and of course to them their problem is the biggest issue in their life, even though I may have 10 cases just like theirs. But you just have to learn to be able to deal with them and make them feel important also.
All in all, would you say you've enjoyed your job throughout the years?
For the most part, I said, there's times it's really, really stressful, and I've probably quit here 50 times that nobody knows about. And probably didn't tell anybody I'd quit, but but yeah, overall, I've enjoyed my time here. I've become good friends with my boss. Like I said, I've worked with him for 23 years, and the other people that I work with in here, I'm good friends with, and I've enjoyed it.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.